Hi, I'm Ciara Conway. I'm originally from Tramore, born and raised in Ellen Park. I'm the oldest of five. I have two sisters, Doireann, Marianne, and two brothers, Joe and Rory. And my dad, Joe, has been teaching in Tramore since God was a boy. I'm now living in Dungarvan with my own family, with Gary and my daughter, Ava May. I suppose I got involved in politics when I was in college in Galway. I was studying public and social policy, and I went on then to do a master's in social work in UCC, and was very influenced, I think, in the last number of years because the kinds of things that I came across in my work in child protection and subsequently with Bernardo's are the kinds of things that make you want to stand up and engage in the political system. I want to make sure that every citizen of Waterford City and County is treated fairly. I want to stand up for a modern Ireland. In the lifetime of the last government, we saw the marriage equality referendum pass by a majority, a wonderful day for a modern Ireland and a modern society. But we've much more work to do in relation to women's rights and women's reproductive rights. I want to see that women, for the first time, who live in Ireland now, under the age of 50, will have that right to vote on whether they want to repeal the Eighth Amendment or not. I feel strongly that it needs to be repealed to ensure that we protect our women, our sisters, our mothers, our aunts, our nieces, to ensure that we have a 21st century solution for these women rather than a 20th century solution that sees them exiled to the UK. I want that to end for women. I want to stand up for a modern Ireland. When I was canvassing in the last general election, the despair that people had that I encountered on the doors, I have to say that that has dissipated somewhat to now when I'm engaging with people in 2016 on the doors. I think this government and the Labour Party in government, have brought the country back from the brink. It's been difficult for people, and I acknowledge that. But I think there has been some great strides made in the last 5 years. The Labour Party in government absolutely put a huge emphasis on investing in education because education is the future for our children and for our country. Waterford has done very well in that regard. We've been able to get rid of prefabricated buildings and build new schools. More new schools have been built in the last 5 years than in the history of the state. But equally, as the economy recovers, a priority for me, if re-elected to the Dáil, is to make sure that we see the similar investment in relation to health, in primary care, and to our hospital here in Waterford. An incredible service for people and one that needs investment and one that I will ensure gets its just desert. The people in the hospital work so hard to ensure that people get the services that they require. As a former social worker and employee of the HSC, I know that it can be difficult. I want to see that there are terms and conditions, that we restore their pay, but equally I want to see investment into the future to ensure that we have 24/7 cardiology services, to ensure that our hospice is on par with every other region in the country, and to make sure that there is access to maternity and paediatric services for everybody in Waterford City and County. I've worked hard here in Dungarvan in ensuring that the maternity clinic was returned to the hospital in Dungarvan, a huge benefit to expectant mothers and their families. One of the things I was acutely aware of when I was elected to the Dáil in 2011 was the difficult way in which so many workers were left high and dry by the double insolvency of the Waterford Crystal pension scheme and of the company. And I worked tirelessly with those workers, with the unions and with the Department of Social Protection to bring an end to that. We were able to make those payments of 45 million to the former workers before Christmas, and the pensioners will get their first payments in the coming weeks. I'm committed to making sure that Waterford is the best place to live, to work and to raise a family. And to make sure that that happens, I'm asking you to give me your number one vote. I want to make sure that the jobs that we have here are sustainable jobs and that they pay well for a day's work done. But I think it's really important that Labour parties return to government for the stability that our country requires, that we don't go back to the days of the past where money was squandered and thrown away. I want to see investment in the Waterford Institute of Technology. I want to ensure that we reach our technological university status. One of the things in the last Dáil term that gave me huge job satisfaction and was a great fun and pleasure to do was to engage with so many community groups throughout the city and county, from Tramore to Mount Sion in Waterford City, all the way up to Mellery, where we were able to work together to secure funding for many different community development projects, from community halls to the beautiful Lafcadio O'Hearn Gardens in Tramore, a huge asset and another jewel in the crown of the tourism offering here in Waterford. I've worked very closely with disability groups. I want to see that we ensure that the duplication and the stress that parents and families with children with disabilities are put under comes to an end, that we develop a passport for these families between the departments rather than assessment after assessment. This is something I feel very strongly about and will work and endeavour to ensure comes to fruition in the lifetime of the next government. There has been great work done by the hospice movement here in Waterford. For so long this region had no hospice, but 25 million euros has been secured by this government to ensure that we, like every other region, will have the access to such an important and vital service. But additionally, there will also be a 5-storey extension going on to University Hospital Waterford to ensure that we have more beds and more services to offer the people in an acute time of need. I want to congratulate all of those who have campaigned and worked so tirelessly on this over the years. It has been promised by many in the past, but it was this government, the Labour Party in government, that delivered on this. We have a lot of work done here in Waterford over the last 5 years. We've made incredible strides in getting rid of the prefabs in Waterford. We're increasing the service development of the Technological University. We're increasing the investment into University Hospital Waterford. We're bringing the unemployment rate down. We're increasing the offering that we have to offer tourists and to offer people living, citizens of Waterford City and County, with the development of our beautiful Greenway. We're standing up for a modern Ireland by the passing of the marriage equality referendum. These are the kinds of things that we want for the future of Ireland. A modern Ireland, an Ireland where everybody can be treated equally and can access services. And so that is why I'm asking you to give me your number one vote on the 26th of February, to stand up for a fairer and more modern Waterford, to stand up for a fairer and more modern Ireland. That's why the Labour Party needs your vote.